Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In today's video I wanted to talk about World of Warcraft, a subject that I normally don't talk about, especially because I play a lot of other games except WoW, but now I find myself playing WoW. Again, I've played it a bit before and I'm gonna talk about my opinion on different people on YouTube saying that they're gonna quit WoW, they're never gonna play it again, all the drama that's been, and some things in WoW that I like and I dislike, um, and the fact that I basically made a video long ago about WoW having a really poor design and nothing new, and I was kind of right about that, but on to the video. So we have all know some certain big YouTubers said they're quitting WoW. Some of them, being the infamous Asmongold. I mean, Asmongold didn't say he's quitting WoW. He just said he's moving to another game. And I've watched them stream on YouTube. I mean on Twitch, because most of them stream on Twitch. I mostly watch Twitch. And some of the people who said they're not gonna play WoW again actually are still dabbling in WoW a bit. So I've seen. So the one thing that I hate is the bandwagon, man. I mean, so I'm just gonna leave you with my DK, with my nice DK look on the screen while I talk, and then I'm gonna log in and tell you other stuff. So when Asmongold went to play Final Fantasy 14, and when everybody else saw the views that everybody was watching him play that game, everybody jumped on that bandwagon, man. So what I hate about it is that they've been playing WoW for so long, and they could have quit the game at any given time and go try out other games, but they didn't. And as soon as they saw Asmongold playing Final Fantasy 14, all other big streamers, and big is like nobody is as big as him, but like everybody knows Towley, everybody knows, I don't know, Limit, Maximum, everybody knows a lot of the streamers, the main streamers in WoW. They all went and played Final Fantasy 14, man. They all went and played. Even Pilav, right? I love Pilav, by the way, but too bad he streams very rarely. So they all went to Final Fantasy 14. There's other streamers that I'm not naming because I don't really like gonna name everybody. These are just on top of my head. So they just jumped the bandwagon, and what I hate about it is that they don't like that game. They say they like it, but then they come back and play WoW. This is the funny thing, because they went and played that game, but then they came back and played WoW a little bit again, right? So like that game has been out for a long time. Let me check. So Final Fantasy 14 release date, I guess. Let's see. So the game's been out in 2013, I think. I guess I need to. When? Okay. Yeah, 2013, August 24th, 2013. I hope it was on PC as well. Let me check the wiki. So it was. Oh no, yeah, it was released on Windows 2, right? So releasing the game, what is that, 8 years ago, and nobody ever tried that game. Nobody even thought of going to play that game. They all played WoW, and now that when they saw Asmongold going there, they all jumped the bandwagon. But the thing is, now they're still playing WoW. I mean, some of them are still playing Final Fantasy 14 or streaming it. But as soon as they, they reached, like, they've played through the leveling process, they reached near end game, I guess. I mean, not end game, but like max level. Did some raids here and there, and that's kind of it. Like, I don't, I don't think they're taking it as serious as WoW, right? And in a way, that's normal because they've played WoW for so long that they can't quit WoW for good. But they never try to play any other MMORPG in their whole career of playing WoW, and that's what bothers me, right? Like, go try something else. Like, it's not. There's like a lot of YouTube videos out there on MMOs that are out there, right? I played probably all of them, like except for the ones that came before WoW. I play probably all MMORPGs out there, and I do like my MMORPGs to be um beautiful from a graphic point of view. So WoW has pretty old graphics, right? Cartoonish, but uh, it's not like the ugliest thing I've seen, right? I've seen MMOs being released uh, sometime after WoW, and they were ugly as fuck. So beyond that, I do like my games to be graphically pleasant. They don't have to be like top notch, but I've also seen something very strange. I've seen a very famous streamer playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I think it was what's his name? The one that always wears a hat on his head. I, I I don't watch him, so the name doesn't really come to me right now. But I think that shit was sponsored. Like, I don't think he played Star Wars out of his own initiative. It's really hard for me to think that he did. Star Wars: The Old Republic, when it came out, I was so excited back in the day. I played it, and I think it was the first time I actually enjoyed playing through a campaign and doing quests there because of the voice choices, the voice acting. I mean, not voice acting, but like you would have different choices, and based on your choice, you would have a different outcome. Now, don't get me wrong, there were always only two different outcomes that you could get, no matter the choices you would do. But it was still entertaining, and I do love the Star Wars universe. But even then, even with all the love that I have for Star Wars universe, I still can't play Star Wars: The Old Republic too much because it's boring. They haven't done anything in it for years, like except for probably the quote unquote last big raid update that they did. There's nothing new in the game. The game is the same as it was 2 years ago. They didn't introduce any new classes. They didn't revamp anything. Like it's boring as fuck, and I can't play a game that doesn't entertain me as much. Like, there's nothing. I do mostly play PvP. I do prefer PvP, but people have been like in that game. People have been sitting in like the Imperial flagship since the game launched. Like, that's the main hub. Like, what the fuck? So back to the bandwagon. I don't think it's cool for you to jump on a game that you don't like just because you might get viewers on it. It's just, as a gamer, it's just not cool. You don't like the game, and you don't have to pretend that you like the game to get views, man. It's just play whatever you feel like playing. Just play WoW if you like WoW. You've played WoW for over 8 years, and then you jump the bandwagon and you go to Final Fantasy 14. Look at Tauli, for example. Tauli played Final Fantasy 14, but then he stopped because I don't think it's his jam. Like, right now, Tauli actually isn't really streaming WoW. I do. I don't have anything against Tauli. Tauli, I think I've watched Tauli a bit when he actually started streaming back in like 2008 or 9 when he was or 7, I think. And you know, the guy is cool. I like him because he's actually real on his stream. But again, he went to play a game that he could have played years ago, and he never did because he was never interested in that game, and nobody's interested in that game right now. And it's really hard for me to think that in 2021 that you were clueless that other games existed, right? So that's something that I can accept. Like I think I've heard people saying, "Oh wow, this game is so cool." Like, have you not know about that game until now? Like, are you that clueless? Do you live in a cave? Like, people like that, it's really hard for me to think they exist. You know, unless you're like 14 years old and like I don't know, you've only played WoW for 2 years. But come on, man. I'm talking about gamers here. I'm talking about people who look at other games, who compare, who think about really what they enjoy playing. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about um, people who are new to this thing. And I think someone else said he was quitting WoW. He was called Stoops, I think. I actually didn't research that too much. But I'm gonna check his YouTube channel.
I made a lot.
And let's see where to go after quitting WoW. Oh, I think did he actually quit? You know how you see if someone quits a game? You see what he live streams, right? So I'm gonna go to his past streams and let's check. Ah, he's playing Lost Ark. Okay, that's fair. I mean, the fact that he has Lost Ark is probably why he can quit. But I see 13 days ago he did do like a small stream on on 9.1.5. You know, when you say you're quitting a game, you don't go back and do videos on it with patch notes and stuff like that. Like, that's not you quitting. Oh, and he did something else. Oh, 7 days ago, 9.1.5 news. Okay, so this is the fact that you're looking at patch notes means that you haven't quit WoW. Like, if someone says I quit a game, in my mind it's like you uninstall it and you've never looked at that thing again. That's how I see it. You know? That's what quitting a game is. Now let me show you something that I think was funny. I think when Shadowlands came out, I immediately said that it was bullshit. I played it at the beginning, and the fact that a new expansion in a game thought of coming up with this map, like, what the fuck is this? You have a pillar in the middle, which is supposed to be my main hub, because you get weekly quests from here, and the vault is here, right? Which only has one floor of actual NPCs, because the other one you just a fly point, right? And then you have maps that are not really that big, where you just go around and do your chores. I mean, this is the when I saw this, when Shadowlands came out, I said it was the biggest bullshit ever, and I was right. People were first saying that the game was great, but then after 2 or 3 months, they were started saying that it was shit. I mean, make up your goddamn mind, you know? And it's just funny. And then when they released Cortia, it's like, oh, we're just gonna add like the rest of the map you couldn't see in the mall, and it's the new zone in 9.1. Like, like, really? Is that all? Oh, and they made Torghast a bit harder. I don't think that's a good idea, because if a new player comes along and he wants to do like maybe floor 7 or 8, and he just has heroic gear from the dungeon, it's not gonna be that easy for him, right? Or even floor 9. Like they made the new I mean actually the new currency, you can get it in lower floors as well, right? So maybe I'm wrong about that. I did like floor 9 once, and I had the I think 200 item level, and I was a tank, and I had to struggle a bit. Like I was doing it with a friend who had 200 item level as well, or even a bit lower. He was elemental shaman DPS, and I was tanking, and we still died at floor 9 sometimes, right? And I think it's funny because the quote-unquote new content that you've put out is not new player friendly, and also the fact, what was the other thing that I kind of hated? Oh, oh, yeah, this is funny. So you still haven't even tried to fix this yet. No, wait, how do I open the... Okay, the powers. So if I want to play Frost, I need Rage of the Frozen Champion. Where is it? Why do I not see it? Okay, Rage of the Frozen Champion. You need this to play in PvE, for example. This is the best PvE one, right? It drops from Skoldus Hall, and right now I don't have Skoldus Hall because it's the week with the other one. So unless I play Skoldus Hall, I can't get this. So you're locking my character's progression, and like not like you're locking my character's, you know, potential behind one fucking drop level. Like oh, you don't have Skoldus 1 this week, and maybe you're a new player who just 660. Guess what? You're not gonna get this power until we feel like giving you Skoldus Hall again. This is the worst design I've seen. And honestly, Torghast, you know, everybody was saying in the beginning that Torghast was fun, but then they start calling it Chorghast. And even the big streamers call it Chorghast because nobody wants to fucking grind that shit. It's not fun. It's like, make it just optional. If you want to have fun with the powers in there, fine, but don't fucking do that. Just don't make me grind it, you know. So that's funny. So I'm locked. I can't play Frost properly because I don't have this. Oh, and another thing, the thing that I think they fuck up the most with. Covenants are supposed to be, you know, equal. Yeah, right. Like you've made certain so how smart is it to make a new patch, right? 9.1, and you come out and say, oh, we've added some powers that can increase the potential of one covenant ability but not the others. Like for example at warrior, you know, you have warriors have the spear of Bastion. That's the best thing you can play in PvE. As a DPS, hands down, especially if you do Mythic Plus. There's no other thing to play but that. I mean, you just made certain covenants be way more powerful than the other ones. Like, why? How is it, like, if you're gonna give us a power that affects a covenant's ability, make a power for every covenant that's similar, you know? But no, they just come out with this. I mean, it's the biggest stupid shit I've ever heard. Like, you know what Spear of Bastion does? Like, right now with the power, it increases the duration by, what, 4 seconds or 6, whatever. But it gives, while you're in it, it gives you 25% critical strike chance. Like, what? Like, holy shit. That is... And there's nothing else like that for warrior. Literally, there's nothing else you can play in PvE but that. Like, if you play anything else, you'll just do less damage, right? I think there's one more thing you can play, but like the Spear of Bastion is good overall. You can play it in PvP, you can play it in PvE, you can play it in raids. Like you don't have to hassle with changing the legendaries. You just play that as a DPS and you're okay. The new powers for Death Knight in 9.1 seemed super useless to me. Like I don't know, instead is this new? Oh yeah, Renown 48, this must be new, right? Insatiable Hunger. I don't think anybody plays this. Swarming Mist. I mean this one as well. Final Sentence. I haven't seen anyone playing this. So if you see that nobody's playing this, why would you not change it a bit? Right? It's just bad design. And as a new player coming in, I can't really see. There's no. Where's the catch up? Where's the catch up mechanic in PvE? I don't see it. There's no catch up. Like I had to spam M zeros until I could get certain gear. Oh, and this is another thing. Why are you not letting people spam mythic zeros without locking them for 1 week? Like we can only do one dungeon per week. Let me spam that shit every day. If you're afraid that people grind gold in it, just modify the M0 gear to be one, I don't know, 1 gold. And that's it. All the other gear in the M pluses can be higher. But like why is there a difference? Because a friend told me, I was telling him, yo, I think they should do this uncapped, right? So we can, as a fresh new 60 player, level 60 char, we can go and gear ourselves up to 210 item level without much effort, so we can actually play the game. You know what they like, you can't do that, especially like I had runs where I did all the mythic zeros and I didn't get one item because everybody else in my group was not a plate character, or even if they were, they needed the item. Like, hello? I mean, you're just gonna go into an M plus with what, 200 item level, and people are just, you're just gonna have a hard time. You know, I'm not saying you can't do it, but that's it. It's not hard to help people gear up when they're like fresh 60, especially after everything that happened. Like half of your player base quitted. Apparently, I don't think so though. You know, people are trying to judge the numbers. I mean, they did went down, but they're trying to judge the numbers based on, I don't know, mythic plus runs. You do realize that I think only 20% or 30% of people playing WoW in total are actually doing M pluses. I know people, I have friends who only play this game for achievements. I mean, that's boring for me, but they don't even do mythic plus. They barely do raids. Like they just do it at the end for the achievement. Like they don't play mythic plus dungeons, they don't play raids, they don't play PvP, they just do achievements and they just do quests in the game. That's your player base. So you can't really speculate on the subscriber amount based on mythic plus run dungeons, dude. I mean, you never know. I mean, if the player base was so low, they would probably have to close the game. I think. I don't know. I've seen games with like lower numbers than WoW, but not that low, and they still close the game. You know, so yeah. So this is my issue. If you wanna help players enjoy the game, make a catch-up mechanic, and people on YouTube, man, don't and Twitch, don't come out and say that you're quitting WoW when it's obvious that you're not quitting. Like if you're gonna do videos afterwards talking about something related to WoW, you're not quitting WoW. That's not quitting. You're just, and I don't like this type of manipulation. Yeah, you're just making a video saying you quit for some views, and then you come back in like a month or two, and they're like, "Oh, let's play the new 9.1.5 patch because it might save WoW." Like, no, no, that's not how it works. That's not how quitting works. You know, and I don't think I'm calling it right now. The people who said they're quitting WoW are going to come back. They're gonna come back. They're gonna play WoW because, and you know why? Because this is what they've done for the past, I don't know, 8+ years of their life. They dedicated it to this game. They're not gonna quit. They're just not, you know. And I think this is one of the problems that are actually holding back the gaming industry. People are so attached to this game because it was the first, you know, good MMORPG that came out in 2004, and they invested so much time in it that even when they don't like the game, they still play it because they're afraid of, I don't know, playing something else that might actually make you enjoy yourself, you know. They just play this. And another thing that I have to say, I wouldn't be able to play this game if I didn't had these weak auras, like having this thing in the middle. Like, I don't like having that old 2004 bar with those two whatever griffons on the side. Like, it looks like shit, honestly. And having, like, without these weak auras, I wouldn't be able to play the game. And right now, I'm not even paying. It's not me who pays my account. It's a friend who used the recruit a friend who wanted the rewards from it, and he's paying my account for 1 year. But that started out in last December or something, right? So I don't know. It might end at some point. So I wouldn't pay a subscription to play World of Warcraft personally. Like, I'm not that big of a fan. But now that I have this opportunity, I went in the game and I wanted to do some gearing up. And oh, I just remembered. Let me show you the biggest bullshit this game has. I'm gonna show you something. So this is an image. I was doing Chains of Domination, which is the new campaign chapter, and at one point it told me that I need to complete my Covenant campaign to continue this campaign. So who thought that this was a good idea? Who thought that you're making a new campaign in 9.1, but you want, you know, new players that come along to, you're forcing them to do the old campaign who nobody gives a fuck about, for them to progress in the new one? Do you know how stupid that is? This is this really had me. I had to go back and do the campaign storyline. That was the biggest bullshit ever. I wasted 1 day to finish it. And I do move slower. I don't know, people may finish it faster, but this is the biggest bullshit I've seen. Forcing me to do the old campaign in order to continue the new one. Like, why? It makes no sense. If I wanted to know the story, that's my decision. You're forcing me to do something that I don't want to do, which is also actually irrelevant to 9.1, because the rewards in that campaign are the same as they were 1 patch ago, which is shit item level gear. Like I get more item level gear from heroic dungeons. It's like 197. Your gear in campaign stops at. You're giving me one. Yeah, I know you can upgrade them, but I don't want to spend my time upgrading them because it's too stupid. Well, that's all I wanted to point out. This here is bullshit. BFA had more maps than this, right? You had more stuff to do than this. Everybody hates them all. I mean, right now 9.1 it's a bit more acceptable because you can actually mount in it. If you wanna fly in these areas, you only need not this, but like the other four, the other four islands. You need to do chapter 4 from the new campaign, and it will unlock flying for you. Flying in these zones. So people need to stop faking that they're quitting WoW and just play whatever they enjoy playing. Right now, I am enjoying myself a bit in WoW, but let's see how much that lasts. I don't know. I might try and I don't know, do something big like try to reach 2.1k rating in PvP. I do like PvP. We'll see. Maybe try and do Keystone Master just to show people that it's not that hard. Because half of the people I think playing this game who are trying to play Mythics haven't done that yet. So let's see what the future brings and stop bullshitting about quitting WoW. Okay? If you quit WoW, uninstall it. Don't talk about it. Okay? If you didn't quit WoW, don't say you did. I also cover a lot of other games. I've played all my projects out there, so leave a like, leave a subscribe. If you want to know stuff about other games, just comment and I'll try to answer. Alright, see you.